Welcome, my friends, to the show that never ends. First thing you got to notice is there's no cans of beer on the front sheet on when you come on. That's because I've been out all afternoon drinking with a friend of mine in Wetherspoons. I think I can't drink another one now. I do want to say though that I'll be doing the little beer thing and maybe a catch up on the Premier League with Kieran on Sunday. He doesn't know it yet. He couldn't make this evening. I did say I was going to record this. So Sunday we'll do the Premier League on Sunday. Little chat maybe about Wycombe. Who are they playing? Let me think. We were watching Oxford. So we'll discuss a bit about the Oxford game, although neither of us are going. And I'll be having a drink of Buxton Brewery Axe Edge, mentioned at the last programme. So if you want some to have a drink along with me, go along to Morrisons. That's where you get it from. I want to discuss, it's not going to be long, this programme. I want to discuss last night's game. I wasn't going to Peterborough as I wasn't there, but I can discuss last night's game. I was there. Difficult to know where to come at this. I've got a couple of things in my head that I want to say about it. It's putting it in some form of order. The first thing to mention that does make a really big difference was our friend Struek in goal. I think I've got his name right. I really do find his name very difficult to say. Struek in goal. Worst game I've seen him play. The first ball run under him and over the line really slowly. It was like watching it in slow motion. Yeah, okay, should have saved it. And I think he should save one of the others as well. But, hey, okay, can your goalkeeper have a bad game? Not with Wycombe's defence. He can't. Okay? That's really where I'm coming from. Yesterday's match, Bolton impressed me. In the first half, I thought Bolton were excellent. They'd got the number 5 mid at the back, centre defender, who seemed to control everything. He was obviously in charge. He calm, smooth, laid back. Wasn't in the second half, I might add, but in the first half, he certainly was. And at half time, I thought Wycombe are in for a thrashing. This is going to be 4 or 5 against. And I wasn't wrong. It was 4 against. But we did score 2. Now, the first thing about that is that Bolton were going to score 4. And Wycombe's defence is poor, to say the least. We've got a great midfield. The names that you look at those midfielders and you think, yes, what a good team. But midfielders aren't going to win it for you. They're going to count for a few games. But in the end, it's your defenders that defend and your strikers that finish what the midfield create. If your defenders can't defend and your forwards can't finish what the midfielders make, then you're in trouble. Now, if we have a look, who scored the goals? 2 goals for Wycombe, midfielders, not forwards. Our forwards aren't good enough to score goals. Hanlon is not good enough. Taylor is not good enough. We do not have a decent striker, full stop. None of them. When Vokes came on, absolutely shatteringly awful, really, really poor. He just did not look interested. He just couldn't be bothered for his feet to leave the ground. He just could not be bothered. How we're paying him a wage. When I think how little I earn for the amount of work I do, and then I look at him, I think he needs to go and find a real job and find out what hard work actually is what I would say. Going along then, Phillips. No, let's start at the back because that's where the fault was really. Yeah, goalkeeper had one bad game that I've seen, and that was it. I'm not gonna crucify the guy. He's saved Wycombe too many times. Then the back lineup was a bit balmy. You've got Lowe, Keogh, and Leahy. I thought, when watching it, I thought Lowe was really poor because everything seemed to be that came down his side, which was Wycombe's right-hand side, facing forward, was Wycombe's right-hand side. I thought he missed everything. He was really poor. It got Patterson in midfield that had to keep pulling back, but Patterson was always running behind them, and Lowe never slowed them up. And so we always seemed to be outnumbered down that side, and yet none of the goals come from that side. They all came through Keogh. Apart from the penalty he gave away, he was slow. Players went past him. He was slow to go near. It was the corner that they scored was him that was on that man. So you got the penalty, the corner that they scored, the header, but also the ball over the top he wasn't there for, and their first goal. If you actually watch that, you will actually see that he was never near. He was supposed to be in the middle, but he seemed to watch the game and let it happen in front of him and wasn't there to do much. And I was stood behind the goal watching it happen thinking, Keogh, move. And he never moved. And then he stuck a foot out way too late to try and stop it, and he was nowhere near. I'm going to say, out of all the players, I think he needs to put his hand up and take an awful lot of the blame for last night. I would have a look again if you're thinking, oh, I don't remember that. I would take a look at the highlights and have a look at where he was in all of those goals, because I think maybe you'll still disagree, but maybe you won't. Have a look. Passenden, we can't play with this 3 at the back, 4 at the back when we don't have the ball if the person that's supposed to make that back line of 4 is really small, short, and doesn't catch up with the play at the back. It doesn't work. He doesn't work as that midfielder on that side. It doesn't work. Simple as that. He cannot play in that position in the Wycombe team playing in this system. So number 31 out of the team. You've got to find either a different system with those players Well, no, you don't. You don't. It doesn't work. You need your right back. Sorry, you need a right back. Um, it don't work. Three central defenders. That's a goner. That whole idea of three central defenders. Take a look at how many teams do that in the Premier League, because it don't work. Teams tried it for a certain length of time, and I think Mr. Wycombe needs to take a serious look at another way of playing. And I'll explain why I think he does it in a short moment. The other thing to notice is Scowen got his 5th yellow card. He'll be missing the Oxford match. Potts, I thought, was excellent. Leahy, I thought, did a good job. And then as we get nearer forward, we get to Phillips. The guy I go with in the car, his son said headless chicken. That was going to the game, and it was still headless chicken coming back. I don't think he can read the game. I don't think he understands the game. I think he chases everything and sticks his foot out everywhere. He puts his head in everywhere, and it looks like he's really busy and in there. But I don't think he's got a bloody clue. It's the honest truth. We need a player who knows what they're doing, and he has none, and he has no control. Can't control a football, to say the least, and just takes wild kicks at it. Is not calm and does not read the game. Hanlon, well, you know my thoughts on Hanlon anyway, and Taylor almost the same. Taylor doesn't look any better than Hanlon, in my honest opinion. We are really, really lacking for anybody of any quality up front. So we played 5 sort of in midfield. Why? Well, I'm going to tell you, I think, why he does it. And that is, here's your interesting facts for this week. And that is, how many managers were midfield players? Okay. Now, this is from 126 different leagues in 89 different countries. Yeah, I let somebody else do some of this, by the way. I didn't spend my whole afternoon. I was in the pub, like I say. Here's your percentages. Goalkeepers take up 9.2 of the manager's jobs. Defenders, 30.3%. Forwards, 22.4%. But midfielders take up 38.1%, as does Wycombe's manager midfield. Wycombe's strength is their midfield. But what does he know about defending? You see, that's why I think Wycombe's midfield are good, because he understands the midfield. Goalkeeping, well, you know, he needs one goalkeeper. You don't really choose who's on that pitch and how's he going to play much. I mean, they're all muchness. I mean, he's changed it a bit. He don't just belt it out anymore, but then he couldn't anyway. But, you know, you can't teach him, right, you dive this way or dive that way. And they have a goalkeeping coach to keep him fit and raring to go, etc., etc. So Bloomfield does not choose too much to do with the goalkeeper. Whether he rolls the ball out or belts it is about the choice. And I think he even got that wrong, because on that football pitch, we didn't have one footballer that could head the ball, except for the back. 2 out of 3 of the centre back box. Apart from that, so when you kick that ball forward, who was supposed to head the ball and control the ball? Now let me have a quick look. Taylor, who's about that high, I don't think he was going to win very much. Do you see the size of the Bolton defenders? Hanlon can't head the ball. We've discussed that. He's useless. Mind you, can't kick it, but we won't go into that detail. At least he can kick it. It might not go where he wants it to, but at least he can kick the football. But he can't head it. He jumps and misses it. Phillips. It just no. So Taylor, Phillips, and Hanlon, any of them head a football? No. This is why we need Wheeler back. Wheeler can head a football and direct where the ball goes when it's in the air. The rest of them couldn't. And the size of Bolton, they were always going to control that game everywhere on the football pitch, bar the midfield. And they didn't have control of the midfield, Bolton. Wycombe did. But they didn't have to. They only had to have quality at the defence and at the front, because they stopped Wycombe scoring anything or creating anything in the first half, and they finished in the game 4 out of how many shots was it? 4, was it? And that's what counts. Wycombe had the game in the second half. Why, I don't quite understand why they only have the game in the second half and just look crap in the first. What, I mean, didn't he talk to them before they go on the football pitch? All this, the managers told them, get out there and fight. I mean, surely they come out and fight in the first half. So I don't quite understand that. But Bolton didn't have to control that midfield, and they didn't. But Wycombe never did much with it either until the second half. During the second half, Leahy, who was one of the backs, moved forward, and Wycombe's 2 goals, excellent. The corner goal was excellent, something off the training pitch, and it worked. So there you go. That probably sums up what I thought about yesterday's game. I think Wycombe looked good in midfield, crap up front, crap at the back, and the goalkeeper had a terrible game when he would normally have a pretty good game. And I think had he, it probably would have been 3-2, maybe, not 4-2. But there we go. So Sunday, I'll be back on Sunday and Sunday night, and we'll discuss the Oxford game, although I won't be there, but we'll discuss bits and pieces. But we'll be discussing the Premier League and have a beer. So thank you for that, and look forward to meeting Kieran. Actually, I haven't seen much about him, even though he lives here. You know what it's like. Normally it's him. The idea is the teenager sleeps in, yeah, but in this house it's the other way around. He goes to work and I sleep in. Okay, thank you very much for joining me, and might see you on Sunday.